Here we go. It's recording. All right. So let me share the screen. Here we go. So today, there was an ad, so you missed the part before. I said irrelevant next week. Yeah, I said that this Twitch channel is going to be irrelevant starting on next week. The next streams will be on YouTube. No, you're not late. No problem. I'm not going to read the comment too much right now and just want to explain a few stuff. This is the first time I'm doing this kind of stream. So let me explain how it works and then let's dive into the subject. So I decided to do one live stream every Friday. I sanctuarize my day just to have just that during the day and that's it. The goal for me for those streams is to spill the beans. I want to give you a fuck ton of value. I want to give you a lot of information that normally I give only in the mentorship, but this is only accessible live, so there's no replay. So this way, this is a fair way to get people to get more knowledge, to ask questions and things like that, but there is no replay. And as I always say, for all the mentees, what they are buying is not the knowledge, it's my time and my course correction, my follow-up and the access to the community. So I want to give a fair chance as everyone at grasping a bit of the content of the mentorship, some nuggets here and there, but also what can you expect? You can expect a lot of portfolio reviews. Sometimes I will ask you to submit your portfolio, we will review it live. We can do some Q&As, we can do some consultations, we can react to certain important information in the industry. I know the situation has been tense, especially today. We got some extra layoffs, so maybe at some point we can react to that. No fear-mongering, of course. I hate that, and you know if you're on the Discord that fear-mongering and giving up to the mass hysteria, as you see on social media, it's not allowed in the community. We are entitled to feel that. I'm myself concerned about the industry, just like everyone else, but we are here to find solutions. Welcome to all the people that are new. Some people receive my email, so that's probably the first time you see me. Feel free to join the Discord. There's the link somewhere in the description of that Twitch channel, so feel free to join the Discord, otherwise it's in the free course. All right, so today I wanted the first stream to be kind of casual, to break the ice. I wanted to relax a bit, and I would like to review a lot of portfolios live with you. Especially good portfolios today, and try to break them down and explain the recurring element that makes them so good and explaining why those kids get jobs. There's a lot of misconception regarding portfolio. That's the whole reason that my mentorship exists, is to explain what is required in production and producing, how can I say, production ready and production oriented type of portfolio, and not the empty, flashy pictures that you see all the time on ArtStation. I have nothing against those pictures. It's just that it's not getting you jobs because it does not prove that you understand what is required in production. And that's the big problem we see a lot in the industry at the moment, especially for aspiring concept artists, but also for a lot of pros who started recently, maybe during 2022, 2023, when there was a lot of demand for keyframes with like crypto gaming, NFTs and things like that. They got used to doing those sexy keyframes, those sexy pictures. And now that the bubble has burst, they don't understand what is really required in concept art, because it was mislabeled as concept art, but in reality, it was more marketing art, promotional art, or very, very early pre-production. It covers only a minuscule fraction of what is required in work. So that's why I want to demystify today. I want to explain that to all of you. Let me remove my camera. I'm going to put my nerdy ass glasses and let's go. So I want to start with a few premises. I hope you can see my obsidian right now. So right there, those are all the chapters for the mentorship. I want to talk about this one especially, how an application review functions. I'm not going to cover everything, but the way it works is that when you apply, of course, you send your portfolio. Thank you, Captain Obvious. When you send your portfolio, there are generally 3 documents. There is a cover letter, which is less and less required, but let's assume there is one. There is a CV and resume, and there is a portfolio. We're going to talk about CV and resumes and all of that, and why some of them get automatically rejected in another day. I want to focus on portfolio today. Your portfolio will determine at, let's say, 90+% if you proceed to the interview and the next step of the hiring process or not. But a lot of people today are not able to do a good portfolio. Not in terms of technique, but in terms of requirement to work in a production. And this is very different than what you see on ArtStation. I want all of you to do that little mental exercise right now. Imagine yourself. Imagine that you are a big art director at a famous AAA studio. It can be Ubisoft, CDPR, Sony Santa Monica, One Pixel Brush, whatever you prefer, okay? Imagine that. You are an art director in that studio. It's a Friday afternoon, just like today. It's roughly the hour of today. It's 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And you are thinking and dreaming about the mega cool weekend you're going to have with your partner, your kids if you have some, let's say at a mountain resort nearby a lake. You're going to have a chill weekend. You are not working on Monday. It's going to be a weekend with you and your loved ones. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to rest. Okay. And suddenly, boom, you receive an email or worse, a Slack notification or worse, a Microsoft Teams notification for those who are using that horrendous software in Teams. It's a message from the HR. The HR is telling you, hey, here is the applications we received this week. Please, can you review them and give us the result if we need to forward anyone to the next stage of the hiring process before you leave tonight? You open the thing and suddenly, 157 applications. You have 3 hours to review 157 applications. I want you to ask that question to all of you, and I want to see that in the comments. In that situation, you have 157 applications. You have 3 hours. You don't want to be killed by your partner or by your kids because you will arrive late. What do you do to review those 157 applications while still being able to leave in time? Those who know the answer, who are in the mentorship, don't answer. But I want to see that in the comments. Anyone? It's going to be interactive streams, by the way, folks. Anyone? Hello? Skim it. All right. Anyone else? Don't be shy. Maybe quickly look through them. Yeah, but you still need to review them, you know. They skim it. They have a set of things in mind with what they look for. Okay, you're approaching some good answers and see if there are any fitting ones. Do your job as it pays the bills. Yeah, but technically your job is to out-direct people. You don't give a shit about hiring people. You have to do it, but that's not your job, and generally nobody likes that. Nothing. Look at the first few pages. Make sure they don't have to click around. They use a bot not to review portfolio, to review CVs and resume. Yes, sometimes, but to review portfolio, it's hard. What they need in the pipeline or production. You are approaching the answer, Seichi. Look for what is needed and leave the rest. Okay. I start by getting rid of the bad ones. Okay. You are approaching the ID. The thing is, or helps in the production with others. Yeah, you are approaching the answer. The idea is that you will play devil's advocate and try to find any single excuse to get rid of the candidate. If there is one thing you don't like, next candidate. Let's imagine not fitting the art style, next. Not good enough technique, next. First picture is the Last of Us 2 fan art, next. Following trends, next. Not relevant to what the company need, next. The website takes 70 minutes to load, and you need to click 17 times to access one picture. Next. Life is too short. You open the CV, there's no clickable link. Life is too short. Next. Any single excuse to disqualify your application. And that's how your application and your portfolio that you spent maybe months on it can go to the trash bin in just a second. You literally, let me show you. I picked the work of Omote. If you are watching that, we're going to look at your work. It's amazing. But let's imagine it was bad work. You open the thing, the first thing you see, you don't like it, boom, you close it immediately. As simple as that. Sometimes it happens. And I'm telling you it happens because it happened to me when I was an art director and an art lead in a minuscule startup. It was in 2022 and 2023. We were a minuscule startup. Nobody knew about us. I don't even know if the company exists today. We were working on an RPG project that could be summarized by Elden Ring in the style of Arcane. You can imagine how it would look, but that was roughly something like that. And I was managing a small team. We are doing a vertical slice of the project to pitch it to investors. And am I going to review your portfolios? Not yours. Some people that are not in the mentorship. Mainly the winners from the rookies. But back on what I said. We were nobody. And every time we were doing a job offer on LinkedIn, for the art part, we were receiving between 50 and 75 applications per day. While being an absolute no-name company. A fucking startup that doesn't exist anymore, probably. So, 50 to 75 applications per day. I let you imagine if your company is like Ubisoft, Sony Santa Monica, One Pixel Brush, Terraform Studio, Nintendo, Square Enix, Eidos, Guerrilla Games, or any of the big names. You can receive over 100 a day. So you don't have the time to review all of that. Otherwise, as an art director, you spend your whole life reviewing stuff and you don't get any shit done. So that's why playing devil's advocate and trying to find any excuse to disqualify things is the modus operandi by default. And that's the first thing I want you to get aware of with your portfolio is that it needs to be perceived. Your application, it's not you sending a bottle to the ocean and crossing your fingers. That's not how it works. The way you need to see applying to a job is that it's an intellectual duel between you and the reviewer. You need to assume that anything looking at your application will search for any excuse to disqualify your work. Sometimes it will be the case, sometimes it won't. But to be safe, you need to assume they will always try to find any excuse to disqualify your work. And thanks to that, it's going to force you to anticipate all the objections and the problems they might encounter when reviewing your work. Is it clear? And you need to imagine and anticipate all the objections they could have when reviewing your work. It's loading too slow. It's not relevant. The first picture is not flashy enough. The user experience is shit. There's no clickable link. I'm busy. I don't have the time. The portfolio is clumsy and it's hard to navigate into. Do you see what I mean, folks? All those objections that could get them to be pissed off and close your application to move to the next one. Make sense? Put a 1 in the chat if that's the case. While you are saying that, this is a duel. So you anticipate all of that and you make sure that when you send your portfolio and your letter and your resume, you have anticipated them and you have deflected, parried, diffused them in advance. This way, if you send a good application that is proceeded to the next step of the hiring process is one where they don't find any excuse to disqualify you and they have no choice but to abdicate and forward you to the next stage of the process. Then it's an interview, and again, they will try to bend your persona, not your portfolio next time, but your person, see if something snaps, and you just have to resist, so they have no choice but to keep you going. Seems good? Easier said than done, I know. There are 3 things you need to... Yeah, they speedrun things, exactly. And I know I'm known for saying some controversial things. Sometimes, again, I do not mean any evil, but I know every artist is very worried at the moment regarding the state of the industry and not being able to get positive answers for a job. The other side of the coin, you need to put yourself in the foot of the companies, is that they are flooded by garbage. And I mean, no disrespect to anyone, to anyone applying getting rejected, but they see 99% of the work they receive is not suited for production, and we're going to see why today. So it gets them to know in advance they're going to waste a fuck ton of time to find 1 or 2 gems in the rough that might have a chance to get it to the interview. So if artists and applicants are struggling to find positive answers, the other side of the coins means that companies are struggling like motherfuckers to find the right kind of candidates. There's also a lot of misbehavior in the community where artists out themselves for being legal liabilities. David, we need to have a podcast together to talk about that. I want to talk with you again about that. You are super good. We need to plan that. No, you're not late. No worries. I'm just starting. I'm still introducing that. So they are flooded by crap that is irrelevant to what they are doing. They are bored. They are busy. And because they have to filter through 99% of portfolios and work and submissions that is not going to make it, they have to be super quick and super harsh when it comes to reviewing your work. What does legal liability means for artists? To summarize it politely, they don't want to hire an emotional ticking bomb with little legs in the company that could generate problem to the company or turn against them legally without a good reason, of course. Let's keep that discussion for another time. This can be a fantastic subject on its own. This is kind of like the triforce of giving a job to me in today's industry as an artist. The first one is a good and targeted portfolio. That's what we are going to see today. The next one is handling the interview process and the hiring process like a champ. This is what people joining the mentorship are learning starting on week 4. And we can make a podcast about that too. And the last one is social skills and emotional management, which are becoming extremely important today. That's it. But we're going to have dedicated lives for that for sure. So for your portfolio, you have to prove 3 things in your portfolio that you need to prove immediately because time is key. They won't spend the time to watch 50 different applications. They are going to be fast. They are going to be quick. And at any excuse, next candidate. So immediately, if not with the first piece that you have, you need to prove 3 things to them. 1, that you understand what is required in production and what the company needs. This is not what ArtStation needs to collect liked. This is what the production pipeline requires from you as a concept artist. And this is simple. This is you making sure that the 3D artists who are grabbing your design can model everything without asking any question, without doubting, or without asking you any type of questions. The more you can do that in your work, the better your chances to prove you can understand what is required. You need to ask yourself 1 question that is very simple. When you see someone's work, or even with your work, ask yourself, if I was to send my artwork the way it is right now to the 3D team, do they have all the information that they need to model everything from start to finish? If it's yes, good, do more. If it's no, you are in mega big trouble. And that's why when you see a lot of artists that are angry on LinkedIn or social media, oh my God, I got rejected again. Just look at their work. I don't want to be a dick. I want to be factual. And some people will prove me wrong, and good for them. And I want more of them to prove me wrong. But every time you see someone complaining on LinkedIn or any website not being hired all the time, nothing to do with layoff, I'm talking about being hired right now, look at their work and ask yourself, that person, if I was to send their work to the 3D team, could the 3D team model what they are showing in their pictures? And most of the time, the answer is no. Why? Because most of the time, it's just keyframes. By nothing against keyframe, by the way. By keyframe, I just mean the flashy, empty pictures that we see on ArtStation. Okay, it's cool, but you give that to a modeler, it's going to be very tough. I'm going to open up ArtStation. I'm going to disconnect. I'm already disconnected. Perfect. This way it's unbiased. There is nothing personal against anyone I'm going to pick right now. Okay? Nothing personal. I don't know the person. Nothing. Let's say you grab that picture. Let's grab another one. Let's grab this. Let's grab this. Again, I don't know the artist. I might have seen their work previously. There's nothing personal. Let's imagine you just send that picture. The 3D modeling team will be like, hey, how does it look behind? I don't really know. So that's complex. Same right there. There's a massive building covered in fog. You give that to the 3D team. Okay, you have the 3D base. That might help a bit. But generally, you want technical drawing. They don't know how the inside looks. They don't know how that truck looks. They don't know the different props. They don't have the full package to model everything confidently. And your 3D work as a concept artist, generally, it's not optimized. So they will spend so much time trying to re-optimize things. They don't even know if you have kit bash things, if it's copyright free or not. They are better off making everything from scratch again in most of the case. Same right there. Beautiful picture again. But you give that to the 3D team, they're like, I don't even know how that building looks. The question I asked lead HR on one HR recruiter game event was whether to keep old wall or not. I was told that yes. I'm going to talk about that. Pretty soon. So that's understanding production and what you need and what they need in the company. The second one is good design skills and iterations. Again, that's the proper of a concept art job. You need to provide several different types of design and iterations and opportunities rather than just one. Again, you just send one picture. Let's assume this is what you send. You impose your ID. There's no iteration. There's no wiggle room. Okay? Those are bad examples because I don't have the context. But bear with me. Let's assume this was a portfolio material from someone. This will be complex to prove you can design and iterate things. And the last thing that comes last, do you have a good enough technique? And we tend to drastically overestimate the technique that is required. Do you review portfolios in the mentorship? Sometimes. Sometimes I reviewed those of each student individually during the call we got, and we're going to do some case studies like that from time to time. That's also why I want to do those lives, just to give you even more content for the mentorship. All right. Back on your question regarding your old work. I tend to say to the mentees that your portfolio is only as good as your worst artwork. And the reason is very simple. It's just that when you send your portfolio, they don't have the context around it. So when they review your work, they're going to assume that the worst piece that you have, it is what you're going to produce on your bad days. You are tired, you are sick, you got a bad news, you're 1 week away from vacations, you're just not inspired. They know that the creative process is inconsistent and changing, and sometimes you have moments of low. And still, those worst pieces, they need to be above what they require. This way, they know that even in your bad days, you're still going to exceed what they need. So regarding your old work, I don't really mind keeping it on ArtStation, but I want you to curate your portfolio. Let me give you the example of Orson, a former mentee. He, he curated his portfolio a bit already, but this is roughly what he sent me when he applied for the mentorship. And okay, I was judging by the miniature, and at some point I was looking some stuff and there was plenty of content right there. And it's cool, it's more things, and at some point I just clicked randomly on that one, and I was not very inspired by the miniature, to be honest. And suddenly I discovered those great props right there. Those are fantastic. And I was like, dude, do you realize that by giving such a bad user experience to the reviewer, you take the risk that they skip and overlook things that might be banger in your portfolio? By giving them just an art station like this that is not curated, not ordered, you are not in control of the order in which they will consume your portfolio. So you take the risk that they don't see the right things, that they don't have the context, that they see old work that they might mistake for good one, and recent one, that they skip important stuff. In any case, you drastically increase the risk that there is a misunderstanding somewhere. So what we did, immediately I told him, make an ArtStation collection, and now this is clear. You have the full portfolio, you have character, environment, illustration, you click on one, and now you just have to scroll, and now, as the applicant, you are in control of what content the reviewer will see and in which order they will see it. Does that make sense? It's all about control. And I want to get back to playing devil's advocate when reviewing. You can also assume that there is 3 cardinal sins of application. This is confusion, boredom, and skepticism. And when you send a portfolio that is not curated with old work that is 7 years old, you are sparking confusion like crazy. When you curate your work like this, you diffuse confusion. It's straightforward. All you have to do is click. The user experience is simple. You just have to scroll, and it's very easy to consume. Boredom, it's just boring. This could be almost a full video of its own, but it's something that in the mentorship I call as the oh shit, another one effect. Another Last of Us 2 keyframe, another set of military dudes entering an abandoned place done with the Dana Warrior tutorial, another set of spaceships rendered in Blender and Octane following Pablo Dominguez tutorial, another Florent Lebrun clone, another Shadi Safadi wannabe, another Terraform fanboy trying to copycat what they are doing. We have seen that 50,000 times. And again, you look at our station front page. To me, this is the oh shit, another one effect. Empowered. Again, nothing against anyone who does that. Who does those pictures. They are doing it for fun. They have reasons. But a lot of these pictures, we have seen them like a gazillion times. Or we have seen something similar. There's nothing that substantially dissociates you from that mass. So how can you possibly stand out if your artwork is just a collection of things that are exactly the same as what we see? This makes your work a commodity. And because you are commoditized, the perceived value of your work is going to drop. This is why I'm making so many memes all the freaking time regarding exactly that. I'm making so many memes like this. And this is always the same. Why can't I get a job? Your portfolio doesn't even prove how production works. Aspiring artist, fancy gimmick tutorial number 50,000 by famous artists. Oh, no fundamentals. A targeted portfolio is going to carry you in your application. Aspiring artist only doing fancy keyframes waiting to get a job. Aspiring artist, my portfolio subject is so complex I did 17 pages of lore to help it understand. The application reviewer will read it for sure. Or do you make it different if that's the kind of art that is relevant to the place you have to apply? We're going to see that. That's the whole purpose of today's session. But again, always ask yourself that question. If that picture is sent to the 3D team, do they have all the information they need to model? If no, you are not doing concept art. You are doing flashy pictures. No offense, but this is not what is required in production. If you send this kind of stuff and a big package to give them all the informations they need, in that case, good, you are doing concept art. And that's how you stand out. Let me give you an example. We have seen the keyframes. Honestly, tell me, when was the last time you saw something like that on our station? This is what is required in production. This is what will get you hired. This is what is making the life of the 3D modelers easier. And you can still have a keyframe like that. But the genius of Alex is that she showed immediately she can do production and then the keyframe. Rather than, oh, okay, a fancy picture. Oh shit, another one. No. Oh, finally someone who gets it. Finally a ball of fresh air in that era of sameness. That's how you stand out. Production-oriented work, production-oriented iteration, storytelling. That's the kind of stuff we want to see. That's the kind of stuff we work on in the mentorship. There is a meme, where is it? This one is going to sting. I got a rejection email from this company. They want to see props, iteration, and pure design, not a collection of famous Gumroad tutorials in The Last of Us 2 fan art. Where is it? Come on. Here we go. Aspiring concept artist portfolio today. Super personal project, 153 pages of lore, branching backstory, make its own language, crazy world building with rules, genealogical tree for every family's, no job. The Chad concept artist who gets hired picks a simple famous story, one big twist that changes the rule, designs cool shit. I wonder what Last of Us 2 fan art pissed me off so much. Honestly, I cannot even answer that question. I don't even know. I'm just bored of seeing them. I heavily respect the source material from One Pixel Brush and Naughty Dog, but all the copies, it's like, okay, let's grab some random kid-bashing assets of post-apocalyptic on Sketchfab. Let's use a scattering tool in Blender to cover it with shit and grass. Let's press render and let's add a girl on a horse. Whoa. Original. Very original. Again, no offense. If someone wants to do it for fun, that's totally fine, but just not in a portfolio. And if I'm saying that, and we have all seen 50,000 of those Last of Us 2 fan art, okay? We have all seen them. We are bored with them. It doesn't do anything to us now once we see them. Imagine if you're receiving 300 of those per day. How fucking pissed off you will be at the end of the day. Reviewing, oh no, another one, another one, another one, another one. So as soon as you see something that stands out, getting back to Alex, you see something like this. When was the last time you saw something like this? Yeah, I will show example for character art for sure. Let me grab Chloe, for example. Here we go, not a splash art. You have some props, you have some turnarounds, you have some drastic iterations. You have some props, some dynamic poses. Let's pick Regine. He's an artist working at Mood. He was a student at New Edge. Again, that's the kind of stuff you do for character. We're going to review that in a minute. I'm just finishing my very lengthy introduction. Honestly, you want to learn that? Go grab this tutorial by Envor. It is free. You follow it. You are doing concept art for characters. As simple as that. And at the end, you do the polish render, the splash art, and all of that. At the end, you do that. Once the design is validated, those keyframes, I'm sorry, it's not exactly keyframes, but everyone uses that word, so bear with me. Those pictures, you do it at the end once you have done the full design. This is like, okay, something I do in the mentorship is that I compare that to a box of Legos. That fancy picture is the beautiful promotion on art on the box of the Lego, telling you how it will look once assembled. Those things, these are the bricks and the manual. If you don't have the box, but you have the bricks and the manual, eventually you can end up to something like this. If you just have this, but you don't have the bricks or you don't have the manual, good luck. Do you have anything in a more cartoon style? I'm going to show that with some stuff from the rookies and from Omote, for example. He's from the Discord. He got hired, I think, at Ocelus. And he's a bit more stylized. It's everything that I say today is completely style agnostic. We don't really care about the style. It's about production. In any case, whether you are doing something like Valorant or God of War, the 3D necessities are going to be the same. The 3D pipeline is going to be the same, at least on a macro level. On a micro aspect, like the fur, yeah, it's going to be different. The rendering is going to be different, but the big picture is going to be exactly the same. The principles you need to prove are exactly the same, regardless of the style, regardless of the type of project, regardless of the scope of the company. It's always the same. Where's the tutorial? envarstudio.com. Just type Envar tutorial ArtStation. You're going to find it. It's free. All right. I think I'm good. Let me check. Good enough technique. Here we go. Is everything I said clear? Yeah, unfortunately, you cannot put links in the Twitch chat for those with the little sensor stars. I don't think it's possible. But you know what? Let me quickly put it on Discord. I'm going to put it in the resources. Where is it? Text channel, feedback, education, community resources. Here we go. I just posted there on the Discord, so that's pretty much it. All right. Is everything clear for you guys? That very lengthy, almost 37 minutes worth of introduction. Put a 1 in the chat if that's okay. Okay, awesome. So yeah, this is to avoid looking like a clone of famous artists. This is to stand out. And all of that, we have not even talked about the portfolio subject yet. So now what I want to check with you is the winners of the Rookie Awards, who for sure are all getting hired because their work is fan-freaking-tastic. And I want to analyze with you very briefly why their work is so good. Before that, one more thing. I want to review very quickly the types of questions that I wrote for my students to think about when making their portfolio, to try to anticipate all the objection. When they review your portfolio, they want you to tick the boxes, like, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? If it's yes, good, next question. If it's no, your portfolio breaks and it's getting you a bit closer to getting disqualified. So let me just take the example for character design portfolio. You will be able to transpose it for environment. Is your portfolio displaying a strong understanding of anatomy? Are you able to represent characters from any angle? Are you displaying strong dynamic posing abilities? Are you showing you can design faces from any angles? Are you able to represent the different main emotions of the face? Do you know how to render properly according to the style you are aiming at? Can you keep a consistent style and rendering quality across your entire portfolio so nothing gets the viewer base due to polishing? All of that, this is the fundamentals. Now, regarding design, can you iterate with drastically different designs? Nothing redundant, not just one small change like the belt per iteration. Based on the brief, can you explore a wide spectrum of proposal from one keyword to the other? Can you design different body shapes and proportions? That's a big mistake I see in some people, for example, applying to the mentorship with character design, is that they are one-trick ponies for one type of body shape, proportion, age, gender, ethnicity, and you need to show wide variety because the game is going to show a very varied type of cast. Naturally, can you design different ages, genders, ethnicities, skin colors, including conventional ones like blue skin or things like that? Or are you just limited to one thing that is your comfort zone? Do you have a strong understanding of the Jungian and Gillette archetypes? Very important. We can almost do a full presentation about that. And there are documents in the free course regarding this. Do you have a strong understanding of the 5-man band or the Elite Four, the Power Trio tropes? Again, we talked about that already. Do you have a strong understanding of the D&D classes and RPG archetypes and how to represent them? This is just the cooking recipe to make a character that everybody understands immediately. Can you mix two different grounded references that have nothing in common in a way that works? Can you suggest the gameplay of the character? Things like this. I know you say this will be only live, but will this stream be available as a playback on Twitch for a short time as Twitch does, or will you remove the video before Twitch automatic removal? I will probably remove it pretty soon after. I might leave it for like 2 hours, but I want to remove it. That's part of the quote-unquote deal I want to make with all of you and my mentees. I'm going to spill the beans like a motherfucker during those presentations, including some stuff that are normally for the mentees. But I want it to be an opportunity to watch that. I know the time zone and the time it happens, we'll never be able to satisfy everyone. But I want to give an opportunity to do that without squandering the investment of my mentees. So this is an opportunity. And maybe at some point, I will make a big archive and give access to it. I don't know yet. I will see. And you will tell me eventually what you want to do. But this will be a regular meeting. All right. Line 39. Yeah, we're going to move to that. So entertainment value. Can you get your characters to interact with something or someone when designing them? This is for storytelling. Can you convey the personality of the character through its attitude and expression? Storytelling. Can you tell the entire story of the character through its appearance? Storytelling. Can you show an extensive mastery of the big, what it is, medium, how does it work, what's the function, and small, what's the story and the flavor? That's for the entertainment value and why we should give a shit about your character. Content. Can you design drastically different proposals with little to nothing redundant between the design except the subject? Can you design weapons, props, and gear for the character and not just characters themselves? Can you design drastically different haircuts and facial features that might be required for the job? Can you design turnarounds, front view, back view, side view for the 3D team? This is to help the production team. Can you design skins and cosmetic for the character and their gear? This is crucial for junior jobs. As a junior, you will rarely design a character. You will do skins and cosmetics for them. You need to have costume design and cosmetics for juniors. Can you design 2D VFX, another effect that is heavily overlooked, but very important? Can you design a mount for the character or some beast? This is also required generally for character designers. Can you design a sidekick for the character, like a pet robot and something like that? We often have that. You look at the Disney characters, you look at a lot of games. In Assassin's Creed, you have the eagle. In some Watchdog games, you have some drones. In The Witcher, you have the horse. In Elden Ring, you have torrent. Things like this. Can you design iconic characters like protagonists? But can you also design NPCs that are compelling? Can you also design boss material like a big beast or troll, Ornstein and Smaug in Elden Ring, something like that? Because this is the wide variety of things you need to do. If you only do protagonists, especially as a junior, they don't know if you can do NPCs. And guess what? You will likely do NPCs. And the reason is simple. That's because as a junior, you are going to do what the seniors don't have the time to do. And the seniors, they are busy working on the super expensive stuff. Let's say you are working for Iron Man, the movie. Iron Man design and his armor suit, it's the main character of the movie. It's what is going to sell the movie or not. It's going to be Halloween costume, toys, tattoos, figurines for kids. It's not just a character. It's 70% of the income of a movie and can be over $1 billion. You are never going to give that to a junior. You need the best senior in the industry. You're going to pay them an absolute fortune to do that because there's too much money involved. Is there a portfolio like this somewhere online that we can reference? I'm going to make an ArtStation collection with collections of good portfolios. I need to do it this weekend for the mentees, by the way. So it's happening. And then portfolio user experience. Are you displaying every single step of the design pipeline? Are you making sure you cut anything redundant or already showed to condense the value? Is the presentation and paging of your portfolio clean, coherent, and elevating your work like a fancy packaging? This is so freaking important. I cannot stand portfolios that are just on a gray background with nothing. This is like buying an Apple product in a trash bag. The unboxing of the Apple product is part of the premium feel. Whether Apple is premium or not is not a question, but there is a premium feel, so much to the point that you keep the box when you buy an iPhone or a Mac. That's crazy. It's just a fucking box, but the opening experience is so good, it gives you a premium feel. This is the same with portfolio presentation. There's a big difference between something like this and some garbage with just gray background and nothing else. And you're going to see all the Rookies Award, most of them, they have stellar presentation. It elevates the perceived value of your work, and it's not going to save a bad portfolio, but it can elevate a good portfolio to a portfolio that gets you hired. Does every page of your portfolio has the same resolution, aspect ratio, and otherwise is standardized? Again, this is to make a seamless experience. Is your portfolio presented on a single web page? This way, all the reviewer has to do is scrolling, no click, no button, no option, just scroll to consume. This is to streamline the experience. Is your portfolio landing page fast and responsive? Do it on ArtStation on card, guys. ArtStation or card. But ArtStation is fine. Is your ArtStation organized into project? Maximum 6. This is something that, for example, Mote has been doing. There we go. This is clean. Very clean. Does your portfolio consist of a thematic gradient between one ID to the other? This is in order to not jump back and forth between IDs and avoid confusion. You have the absolute best piece showed on the first page of your portfolio. This is to hook their attention. You have the second best piece as a final page of your portfolio to end on a good impression. And do you have a polished render picture at the beginning of every chapter of your portfolio? This is just my formula. You see the point. These are these kind of objections. Can this person know the fundamental? Does this person know to design? Why should I give a shit? And is the design interesting? Is the content valuable for production? And is my user experience good? Here we go. Finally, let's have a look at portfolio examples. Let's look at the rookies. I hate the rookies because it's taking forever to load. So that's it. As you can see, we start on the best picture or something that summarizes who is that artist. There's a work in progress. I don't give a shit. There we go. Introduction to the project. This is just for the rookies in a portfolio. You will probably lower the text. Again, introduce some characters. Drastically different post that conveys the gameplay and the personality and who they are. It's well rendered, but not overly rendered. There's a bit of context. The presentation is beautiful. What is going on? All right, the character. I don't like the user experience of the rookies. I will need to check their ArtStation one by one. Okay, we have the character. So based off what we said, we see that we're like, okay, you know how to paint and how to design beautiful stuff. You know how to render characters. Next step, do you know how to design, bro? Yes. Design, iterations, costume design. I'm not a big fan of color swap, but whatever. But we have design right there. Oh, he knows how to do environment too. Okay, he's actually very good at environment. He knows 3D. There's a bit of a 3D base. Okay. This is another project. This is probably student work. Bear that in mind. Okay, he knows how to do some promotional art. That's a bit out of subject, but whatever. Okay, another great design right there. Very intricate. Complex anatomy, there's several hands, so he's not afraid to show the hard part. Design work, explaining how the back works, that's good for the 3D team. Different silhouette design to show how the character looks. He knows how to do creatures, that's good. That's a beautiful creature, the texture is nice. Okay, several design based on the seahorse, I guess. Environment design, a bit of 3D, different iterations. Interior design, finally, some big props, object heroes. Another object hero, beautiful render of that chest board. The different pieces of the chessboard. Okay, and now you are allowed to do key art because he has proven he can do design. Very good. Doing some cityscapes is very hard, so he's going for the hard stuff, that's good. Okay, there's an owl, so immediately I would hire him. Not the biggest fan of that picture, to be honest. No disrespect. The rest of the work is absolutely mind-blowing. Very good, very inspired by like Guild Wars, Iron, and all the Korean MMOs, and I'm pretty sure based on the name is probably from that region. Okay. Showing the process. Oh my god, there are a few sketches, that's good. Interesting design with that tree right there. Okay, another project. Beautiful. Very dark again, very inspired by Dark Souls and such. Okay, it's a bit abstract right there. Some iterations. Not a fan at all. Not a fan at all of the painting style and the proportions. I think this is tanking a bit his portfolio. That's just my opinion. The head right there is weird. It might be the art style of the product that requires that, but it's kind of weird to me. I would have not put that in the portfolio. Another amazing character design. Front view, back view. Thank you. You think about the 3D team. Can you share the link of the portfolio you are showing? It's just the result of the rookies. So just tap the Rookie Awards 2024. Those are the ones. Drastic iteration and not just one costume designer. Would have liked different poses, but he has proven that he can pose drastically before, so I don't really mind. Creature, beautiful. Some dynamic poses for the creature and how it will interact. Another prop. A vehicle, okay. With some drastic iterations right there. That's good. Keyframe. And again, everything is heavily stylized towards those kind of Korean MMOs like Ion or Terra. He has so much stuff. Oh my god. This is like 3 times the size of a regular portfolio. And he can do everything. He has done some stylized, some realistic, some Korean MMO. And right there, it's a bit more stylized, it seems. Beautiful creature and shapes. Nice expressions. There we go. Some design. That's what we want to see. This guy knows how to do everything. No wonder he won. Showing the research. This is important. Show your mood board and your reference. You need to see your portfolio like a way for you to document your thinking process. Once you have proven you can do the good rendering and that you have good technique, now you need to allow the reviewer to dive into your mind to understand what were your initial intentions and how you translated that across the whole process from start to finish, hopefully without losing anything in translation. This is almost a making of in the shape of a portfolio. Yeah, I mean, it's never ending. It's very good. But you see, it ticks the boxes. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? He knows how to draw. He's not a slave to 3D. The shapes are good. These guys know how to make everything. And this is the statistical anomalies we're going to find on the rookies. Those are the best of the best of the best. Those are the kind of kids that are skipping junior level and almost arriving at senior level of technique. Those are the best of the world. And here we go. Finally, you admit it, you are a fan of Elden Ring. Good. Dark Moon Greatsword, the best sword in the game. Good. Marvin, I'm pretty sure he's from New Edge. Yeah, New Edge. We're going to see a lot of kids from New Edge. And there's a reason they are so good. Does it want to load? Someone? Hello? Is the rookie website dead? Oh no. Come on. No, come on, rookie website. Do not die during the stream. Come on. No. Okay, it loaded. So he's a kid from New Age starting with his best beast as always, so you know what he is able to do. Immediately you're like, okay, that's pretty good. You can gauge what he is able to do. Damn. This is good. Wow. Good 3D. Wow, I mean, even a small animation. That's good. Interesting. Those kids are crazy. Okay, you know to render beautiful pictures, you know to make 3D. Do you know to do design? Yes. Finally, some drawing and such. Good. This is needed for the 3D team. Huh? Some design, some production-oriented thinking process. Somewhat Last of Us 2 inspired, I guess, but that's the architecture behind is beautiful. I would forgive that. Cutout. When was the last time you saw cutout like this? If those kids are getting hired with that, guess what? That's one of the main things that you don't see in people who are not hired. Even if I want to do character design, we're going to have to do environment. I would advise you to specialize, but not be a one-trick pony. So if you want to do characters, I would advise you to do, let's say, 70% characters, 20% creatures, and 10% props, something like that. Something like this. For environment, I would say environment, architecture, props, potentially vehicles. But no, you can specialize. You don't have to be a generalist. Right there, those are the absolute aliens, okay? Those are the crazy genius kids who can do everything. Paul shared this on tutorial, but beautiful anyways. Some iterations again. This is hard to do. This is beautiful. There's a lot of Polish picture, but at the same time, he's doing this kind of environment variations and such. It's a bit 3D heavy for me, but that's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. Some props. One thing I would like to say is that right there, to me, it's a bit too clean. I would like it to be a bit more dirty and have some props to tell the life of the people living there. It's a bit too empty, like an IKEA test room, in my opinion. But this is phenomenal work, don't get me wrong. Same with the props, I would like to see some storytelling, kind of similar to what Alex did right there. Why? Because it increases the value. It costs not that much time, but you are anticipating next problem. Once you have modeled that bench and put it in the scene, you need to populate the scene and get it to be alive. And with that cat, you're giving an anecdote to how can I say? You're giving anecdote to populate the scene and make it alive. Again, do not get discouraged. Those kids, those are the best of the best of the best of the best. New Age, they receive like 5,000 plus applications per year. They pick 20. They can afford to pick the most savage of the world that are skipping almost junior level. You don't need that level to get hired. This is not junior level. This is not fucking junior level. Great design. Again, always some anecdotes. This is a kind of coliseum right now. Beautiful action scene. How it will look in the game. There's a lot of polished picture right there. And also bear in mind, the kids at New Age, they have almost a year to produce all of that. A year, full time. And those are just some keyframes right there. Interesting design with that egg. It's just a pine cone. I'm less of a fan of those. Those Star Wars things, I'm like, oh shit, another one. He said it's personal. I would not put it in a portfolio. Some Star Wars fan art and such, not a big fan. This one is older, I think. Not bad. Pretty good. I like that monastery. This is probably for a short movie for the school. I remember about that picture. Pretty good. Pretty nice. Very 3D heavy, of course. Very good. Very inspired by Alex P, I guess. Let's just check. There we go. So yeah, makes sense. Sarah, another one from New Age, I think, doing characters. There we go. Immediately going for something complex with the cat and such. Anna, if you are looking that stream, that's a good inspiration, I guess. Love it. It's original. It's more stylized. Again, production oriented immediately. The turnaround, the call out for the object to explain how everything works. Call out for the cat. Very compelling, very silly at the same time. You don't have to be super serious. If the rookies are in juniors, what is considered juniors work? Okay, again, the rookies, it's the competition to have the best student of the world. Those are the aliens. They are skipping junior level. They are reaching like end mid-level, if not early senior level already. Those are the absolute genius kids, okay? You want to check good junior work? Things like that. Alex is slightly above junior work. But something like this is way more accessible already. No disrespect to Alex, by the way. She's arguably in the top 3 best student of the mentorship. You do not have to be the next genius rock star to get into the industry. Just proving you understand what is recorded in production is already enough to stand out massively. Everyone is focusing so much on the fucking technique. I don't give a shit about the technique that they use. For the whole presentation, I want you to ignore the technique. I want to check the content. I want to check the production friendliness of what they are doing. The technique, it's the easiest things to solve. You want an anecdote? I was in a call with Mood Visuals when we talked about my presentation for Kind of Art. And I asked Jesper, the CEO and a creative director of Mood, about the last time they hired someone. It was a junior. In 2 days, they got 150 applications. They put 0 of them in an interview. Instead, what did they do? They grabbed they contacted back a former intern that they got. And that intern, they trained him for a few months before hiring him. That's how easy technique is to solve. And I may ask to all the mentees that are watching the stream right now, the former mentees, all of you did insane level up in a matter of few weeks or a few months. Technique is easy to solve. It's just a matter of spending enough time. Remember, everything that you see right there is 1 year of work, if not more. A picture like this, just to render it, is probably 100 hours. For those 2 pictures, it's probably over 100 hours. How much time do you spend on your own character? For most mentees, when they arrive, it's like, yeah, I'm spending like 10 hours. What about 50? Let me show you a before and after that I've showed all the time. Before, after. This one by Chloe. You want to know the secret? On that one, there was 8 hours. On that one, there was 50 hours. That's the only reason. Spending more time. A lot of you don't realize how good you can be if you spend enough time on it and if you know what to do. We got a lot of course correction on that one, and we got a lot of work on storytelling. Don't get me wrong. It's just mindless extra hours on it. It's a lot of extra hours on it with a purpose behind it. But to me, this is the best thing. There's only one move that separates that, and it's not some bullshit marketing. You can ask Chloe. That's exactly what happened. She shared that one at the beginning of the mentorship. It was not that good. And we were like, okay, let's push it to the max. And she did that in parallel to the mentorship. So with that, there's so much time involved to level that up from this to this by Fosco. But once you arrive to that level, you cannot go back. It's yours. Same with Jess. Let me show you some extra slide that I did recently. I did some before and after. I'm making some new videos for the website. Slides. This was Alexis before. This was Alexis' work before. He got hired at Avalon Corp, by the way. Not bad, but not fully mature. The presentation is kind of so-so, and not the biggest fan. There's not that much iteration right there. And immediately after the mentorship, boom. Boom. Look at the design maturity, how better it is. Look at the drastically different costumes. You designed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different costumes in one page. This is close to junior level, by the way, right there. Look at the personality in the sketches now. Can you do a video where you just go over and critique the before image and the after image? We can definitely do that next week, for sure. This was Michael, one of the absolute GOAT of the mentorship. This was his work before. It is what it is. Boom. Guess what? He spent 200 hours on his Moby Dick captain. Not just this, also the sketches, the props, and all of that, but still, fucking 200 hours. This character is going to get him hired. He got... How many likes did he get? He get a fuck ton of views on it. Boom, baby. 986 likes on our station for what it's worth. That's the power of leveling up by spending more time. You don't realize how accessible this kind of level is, and this is not to diminish his skills. The only thing that separates you from this kind of stuff is just spending way more time on your pictures generally. I remember when I launched the mentorship last year, I was caressing the hope that everyone would be able to do their full portfolio in 3 months. This was the biggest lie I ever told to myself, and I didn't know that it would take so much time. But hey, that's the price to pay. His work is fan-freaking-tastic. For junior work, something like that is fantastic. And honestly, he can almost skip junior work. If we look at Jess, she got, I don't want to jinx it, but let's say she got in touch with pretty high-placed people in pretty prestigious company recently at Promised Land. This is the before. This is now. Whoo! Look at how much look at how production friendly this is. You show the materials for everything. The modelers, they know what to do. I heavily advise everyone to skip being a junior. It's doable and it's heavily advised, especially right now in the industry. Anyways, back on the portfolios. But again, for now, let's make an abstraction of the technique. Because as soon as you have done one or two pieces, you have seen those two pieces of the art director, you know their level in terms of rendering, and you don't give a shit about that anymore. They are like, yeah, she knows how to do it. Now, what about the design? And this is amazing. This one is so good. Sarah. Where does she work now? I was about to say character, but I'm not sure. I'm stalking people live on LinkedIn. I'm sorry. Axis and now Atom Hawk. Okay, makes sense. Pretty good. Production-oriented stuff. Drastically different design with different poses. That's how I want it to be. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. Different poses to prove that you don't have just a mannequin that you are putting clothes on. The goal of your portfolio is to over-deliver, guys. It's not to do the bare minimum. It's to blow their mind. That's the only shot you have at getting a job, okay? So you have to over-deliver. You cannot afford to be lazy on a portfolio. Same pose right there. If you just had that, I would call it lazy. But because she proved she could pose before, I'm okay with that. But if I was seeing a portfolio with only one pose like this, I'm like, do you know how to pose? That's your job as a character designer. You need to be proficient at that and show that. You need to be way above what is expected. Same for the faces. I would like to see them from different angles. We have a few. We got a few before. That's fine. Right now, it's just some haircuts design. That's fine. Beautiful. Explaining how things works. 2D VFX. Dynamic poses, gameplay element to tell you how it looks in the gameplay. Costume designs are phenomenal, a bit too symmetrical to my taste. More faces. I'm normally not the biggest fan of gradient like this, but those few sigils on the side are enough to make it good. This one is super clean. It's just white background, but it's so clean with the colors and the font. Do you see what I mean when I'm talking about the quality of the presentation and the paging? For it to look clean and premium and not like a piece of junk? Does that make sense? Does that feel clean to you too? Yeah, think iPhone box. Think iPhone experience. This is clean. This is premium. This is a way to respect the time of the reviewer. You send garbage on a gray background with no presentation, nothing. You are disrespecting the art director reviewing, taking some time to review your stuff. You don't owe them anything. They don't owe you anything else. But it's just a mark of respect and genuine care. And you can only score points with that, and you can only lose points if you do a crappy presentation. A crappy presentation can tank the best designs. A good presentation will not save a bad design, but it can elevate a good design from something that is good to something that gets you hired. And you see, sometimes you can be extremely clean with just a few patterns like this. Think about that as if it was about to be printed in an art book. As if you are releasing your own art book. Honestly, New Age if anyone from New Age is watching that stream right now, first of all, I love you guys. I miss you so much. But also, if one day you release an art book of the concept artwork of every student or a collection of every year, I'm the first one to buy it. This is wonderful. This is clean. It shows that you care. And application, it's all about optimizing 1% after 1% after 1%. And eventually, all those seemingly insignificant things pile up together, compound, and gets you to be 200% better than anyone else. Look at how fucking crisp it is. I'm not affiliated with New Age, by the way, but I would love to get an affiliate link if that thing exists, by the way, because I'm doing crazy advertising to you guys. Okay, this is more military. I'm less of a fan of that, but this is just the subject itself. And it's a bit too symmetrical, and I tend to always say to my students that symmetry is boring, but right now we are in military futuristic, so it makes a bit more sense for it to be symmetrical. Still, not the biggest fan of symmetry like this. Here we go, rest of the portfolio. Wow, this one is good. There are some older projects, I assume. This is good. I love the rendering of the materials right there. Super efficient, I love it. Good variations. You see, all the time, do you understand what is required in production? Can you do production-friendly stuff? Can you design and iterate well? And then is your technique good? But the technique, you can almost skip it. It's good enough. Makes sense? Isn't it super pricey? Should pay attention in French immersion, so I could have gone. I don't really understand what you say, but yeah, New Age cost a sizable amount of money for the concept art. I think it's 14 or 15 G the year, something like this. And there's a big contest at the entrance. So when you are allowed in it, the price is not an issue anymore. And honestly, those kids, I don't want to assume how much money they make, but they easily make over 10K a month. So they can turn their investment back into profit very easily in a matter of a few years. And they don't have to go through all the hassles of finding your first job because they are so fucking good, they are skipping that step. And New Age has a crazy network. So the jury, they are hiring them at the end of the year almost. So you're also skipping that struggle, which can discourage a lot of people. But they are super good and they are working like motherfuckers. I'm regularly in touch with some students in the concept art class of New Age. They are working like motherfuckers. There's a reason they are so fucking good. Jonathan Kim, I don't know that person. Another New Age student, okay. Okay, this is very close to what we saw in Jucent. Wow. Lot of iteration, very different style. 10K a month is a much for the industry. In Euro, no. In freelance, it's like 450 a day, something like that. You make 400 a day, you work full-time as a freelancer, so you make 100K a year. But you are a freelancer, so you're going to have taxes. So it will be the equivalent of like 5K a month as a salary person, which is still very good for France. And for the US, you can multiply that by 1.5. So going to start at 150K, something like that, but dollars this time. 10K a month in the industry is not that. I was about to say it's not that much. It's not true. It's not the highest you can get. It's a lot of money. Depending on where you live, it depends. but it's doable, at least for Western companies. You go to Eastern companies like Poland, Croatia, Ukraine, Southeast Asia, things like that. It's going to be way, way, way cheaper. But the cost of living there is way cheaper too. You go in the US, the cost of living is way more expensive. I think, David, if you are still watching, you can attest that. But the salary are a bit higher in terms of numbers. But it doesn't mean that your purchasing power is higher. We'll do a presentation about money at some point if you want. Without any taboo, I don't give a shit. So yeah, back on the work, it's very stylized, but it's good. Yeah, it's hard to get the numbers. We're going to talk about that in the mentorship. Don't worry, man. I think it's so John, you're Mathieu. In the mentorship, we're going to talk about that. No worries. Yeah, the taxes taxes and cost of living in California, it's outrageous. Even with 10K a month in California, you're not even rich. You live in LA with 10K a month, I think you are poor, actually. Yeah, inflation is crazy high. Same in France. Wow, this one is beautiful. Again, I'm skimming through them a bit more. I think it's starting to make sense. And oh, see those kind of little pieces of doodle that are silly? That pigeon, it's not very useful for production, but it's good to put. Exactly, because you are laughing. Remember what I said? Confusion, boredom, skepticism. This is a way to fight boredom. And this is a way to prove that you are having fun doing what you are doing. I talked about that already, but today, and thanks you talked about that in this video 111 too, today so many people are not having fun. When you look at someone's work on ArtStation, that's the reason why I barely look at ArtStation anymore, is because it's making me sad. They are not having fun doing what they do. It feels like a chore list. It feels like they have to tick 100 million boxes, and they completely forgot what drew them to art in the first place. And doing those kind of silly things, that's exactly a way to prove you are having fun. That's why in the mentorship, you're going to hear me say, put cats everywhere. That's what Alex did, and it's becoming a meme in the mentorship community, those cats doing silly stuff all the time, but it's showing that you are having fun. Why so serious? You know, it's this kind of Joker meme. You don't have to make a subject that is super serious. Make something fun. Get people to have fun. We are entertainers. We need to spark emotions. You need the reviewer to feel something, to be moved by your art. If it's just, yeah, okay, that's cool. No, you need to laugh. You need to say, oh, it's cute. Oh, that's gross. That's horrible. You need to feel something. That's why I'm being an absolute dictator in the mentorship with the notion of storytelling and entertainment. That's another way to stand out. You look at your average Last of Us 2 fan art, there's nothing. It's an abandoned city. Nothing moves. And you have a random dude on a horse walking. Yeah. So cool. You're not sparking anything. This is beautiful. I love it. I love the style. It's really like Juicent or some like a more simplified version of what they do in Arcane, for example. I love it. In terms of market fit, it's going to be a bit restricted in terms of work possibilities. I would imagine it will fit great for companies like Dontnod, That Game Company, Giant Squid, things like this. Wow, that's beautiful. This is nice. More design work, environment design and such. So I guess it's starting to make sense, okay? Here we go, ending on a silly thing. I love it. Jonathan. What is he working on? Does he have a LinkedIn? I'm sorry to stalk people like that. That's also why I don't really want to let the replay. I don't really like putting people like that under the spotlight. No work yet? Freelance concept artist. Okay. Oh, it just finished. Okay, so he's probably still in the process of getting hired. Okay. Fair enough. Let's see in a few months. I'm pretty sure he's going to get hired. No problem. Moon Studio. Yeah, totally. Sabrina from Art Center. Okay. Let's have a look. Immediately the first page. Cool environment and then cool design. Now, can you design production ready stuff? Okay, that's some lineup of characters. I want to see a turnaround. Here we go. I want to see variations. We got them. Those are nice, very stylized. For those who were asking for stylized work, that's good. These portfolios have the right length, or are they considered? They're considered very long, but it's for the rookies. It's not a portfolio. It's a collection of work. A portfolio will be a bit more concise. With the quality of their work, I don't mind. But you don't need that much quantity before starting to apply. I say to the mentees, as soon as you have 1 or 2 chapters of your portfolio, you need to start applying. You look at Alexis de la Cruz. I showed his work. He was doing the Roman guys. He got hired with just 1 chapter of his portfolio, so it's just like 10 pages, something like this. He got hired. Doesn't mean shit. Even Gael and Chloe, they got noticed by Lion with just 5 or 6 pages. It's not enough to get hired, but they got noticed. And they are like, okay, do more, do the production-friendly stuff, which they didn't have at the time, and apply back. You can hardly hope for a better answer than that. And when they tell you, do this and reapply, they genuinely mean it. Because, again, you need to realize that for them, they are wasting a lot of time hiring people and reviewing work. So if they can spot someone that has potential, nurture them in the egg before hiring them, they are saving so much time. That's what happened to Jess. She has been nurtured for almost a year by some people. I don't want to jinx it. I want to do an interview with her at the moment she's hired to talk about that crazy 1-year journey. But she has been nurtured because they know she has the potential and the desire to do it. And it's way easier for them to give her feedback, like maybe 5 minutes a week or month, rather than reviewing 300 crappy applications. That's amazing. And as always, there's iterations after. That's pretty good. And you see the subject is kind of silly. It's centered around food. Soup Spring Falls. That's a silly name. She will fit very well in productions like Enkama, for example. Or all the stylized games like on mobile, like King, Clash of Clans, and King and Supercell, they are paying extremely, extremely well. And this is a super elite job at Supercell. And Clash of Clans is getting them to make billions every year. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. She did a figurine? Wow. See? Printed art book. Think about that. Wow. The visit cards are incredible. I love it. Imagine, it might cost a bit of money to do that, but imagine you give that as a visit card. Imagine the impression you spark compared to a random Vista print piece of shit. Imagine the impression you give by giving this paper that seems to be a bit velvety. That's insane. I love it. I'm going to copy and paste it in the as a reference for later. Someone from schoolism. Interesting. He has been learning online. So it's a self-taught artist. Interesting. A lot of text. It's loading. Okay. A very different style. But still some production-oriented stuff. I must admit I'm not the biggest fan of the style, but that's just purely personal. It doesn't really resonate with me, and generally the students in the mentorship, I'm telling them to go beyond that in terms of details. But that's just my sensitivity. Wow, this one is good. Wow. See, peak emotion right there. Spark the emotion. You can hear the picture. You can feel how terrifying and how sad the scene is. The artist showing up next year on the rookies, I need to figure out how that things work. That's the goal. That's the goal. Wow, this one is beautiful. I love the style of the plants. This one is great. It kind of reminds me of what Leica Studio is doing with Kubo and the Magical Armor and the two strings, sorry. Kind of reminds me of this a bit in terms of style. Beautiful VizDev, beautiful. Yeah, this work in LOD games? Yeah, probably. It's a great company. Not a big fan of those in terms of presentation. That's weird. I know those are some kind of art style guides. Right there, the presentation feels a bit cheap, in my opinion. It's okay for some documents, but after everything that we have seen that was so beautiful, it's a bit of a letdown, in my opinion. Same right there. But yeah, you see, all of that, he explains his design intentions. The Brumis toys, the weightlessness and such. That's good. Wow, that's nice. Rendering is good. Wow. Classwork, not the biggest fan. Those are just studies, not the biggest fan. He knows how to draw. That's good to collect likes on ArtStation or Instagram. But on a portfolio, no. And then it's just a bunch of exercise from Brainstorm. He has really been documenting his whole process right there. Look at how he started and where it ended. That's crazy. Next one. Wow. Look at the paging and the presentation. That's amazing. Whew. This is probably my favorite one for now. I'm not contesting the decisions, it's different, but this is my favorite one. Oh my God. Look at how much there is. You're almost overwhelmed by it. It's a bit hard to read. But when you see that, you're like, okay, she knows how to do that. She knows how to do it. Problem solved. Good. Look at how premium it feels. I want it to be printed. Damn. That's so beautiful. The style is amazing. This kind of little texture like Anato Finstark. That's insane. Again, a lot of design. That's how I want to see faces. Different angles, different expressions. If you can do them from different angles with different expressions, they know you can do the same face from the front with a few variations. I love it. That's amazing. I love it. Oh, someone from outside. Good. Wow. Look at the personality of the character and the gameplay immediately with the two souls, the spiky appearance and such. You know, she's this seductive femme fatale pirate lady, a bit venomous. Yeah, that's how you show that. Not a big fan of those sketches. Great environment. The transition from that character to environment is a bit brutal, in my opinion. Those props are very stylized. That's nice. Wow, those props are phenomenal. Love it. I would like to see a bit more storytelling. You see, it's too clean and brand new. I would like to see a bit of weathering, a bit of damage, stains, and to show it's not straight out of the factory. Same right there on the character. It's a bit too clean. There's a few dirt stains right there, but I would like to see more on the clothing and such. The sketches are nice. Very oriented towards Riot. I love it. Yeah, very Hades-like. Yeah. Wow, this is beautiful. Very arcane-like now. Damn, this was so cool. Again, you see, you have the body language of the character. You have the appearance. It's readable. It's clean. Presentation is super duper good. She made a fake UI for a card game. Damn. With a slight Bloodborne inspiration. I want to see games like this. She's directly targeting like Shiro Games, Singularity 6, studios like that. Wow. And you see, that's how you can have a subject that has not that much in common with like Singularity 6 or Shiro Games, but because of the style, you make some connection with them and they know you could translate what you have done to their project. That's amazing. Beautiful variations, nothing redundant. Before and after. That's very good. Wow. This is very well done. I'm a bit less sensitive to that style. It's a bit too badass for me, let's say. Okay. Not drastic enough, in my opinion, for those iterations, but that's just my taste. Same with the pose. This is your fucking portfolio, man. Do the max of your abilities, you know. But this is amazing. The costume design, the painting style, it's great. It's just me being extremely picky right now. Incredible rendering, very Atom Hawk like. Again, I would like to see the face. I would like to see slightly more polished. Just spend like 2 more hours on that page. It would be drastically elevated. Right there, different poses would not hurt, like 2 or 3 more different poses. It's lacking storytelling for me. I know what they do. I don't know who they are. I want to see the damage, the trinket. It's a bit too clean for me. Very stylized, very Nick Ponim, Piotr Jablonski like. Oh, he's from UH too. Okay. She's from UH, my bad. This is probably older work. I'm not a big fan of that. I want to see more anecdote. I want to see the stains. This is too clean and brand new, in my opinion. And again, very symmetrical. This one is kind of nice. I'd like to see more accessories to hunt the harpy, but I love the wings of that cloak. Yeah, I love it. I did something similar in the past on a very, very old concept I did like almost 10 years ago. It was a robe made of wings. Yeah, I mean, those are the kids from New Age. They're very good. Wow, this one is nice. Best of a fish. Yeah. Already saw that guy. Pretty nice. Let's check a few more, but it's already been almost 2 hours. So that's it. Is it starting to make sense, folks? In terms of content and production friendliness, that was the main thing I wanted to explain. Like production friendliness, production friendliness, design abilities and iterations, and then and after just the overall level in terms of technique. But at that point, all of them could work in terms of technique. The technique is not even something we discuss about. Marie Gallet, Regine, my boy Regine. I want to meet that guy. I really want to meet that person at Kind of Art. He's designing beautiful things, and I've been taking his works as an example so many times. Marie, Howes DAE. I don't know that school. Korchik. I don't know where it is. Wow, I love it. Very intricate design for that creature. Mix between a bear, a goat, a llama, a sheep. I love it. This one is beautiful. See how much personality you can see from the characters? You see them, you immediately understand how they will act. It's obvious. Oh, it's a giant goat. And this is a house. Okay. The scale wasn't clear. I would have liked to see a few characters in that case. Sketches are amazing. Wow. Okay, there's a bird. I'm not objective on that. I don't really like that part. It's a bit weird. It's a bit hidden. Okay. Pretty nice. And you see the subject, how fresh they are, all of them? We have not seen in a world where everything is lost. One man is trying to seek revenge. You see, we don't have this kind of shit. We have fresh project. We are at no time we are like, oh shit, another one. The only thing that was slightly redundant was the space marine type of soldiers at some point. What will the different poses and variety look like when designing environment, prop exploration? Designing environment, different camera angle, and same from the prop, different dioramas. Let me pick the work of Alex again. Things like this. Different camera angle, different dioramas, drastically different things. Some right there. See, different angles, different topologies. Just look at Alex. That's a great example right here. Not the biggest fan of those swords. I think the balance is throwing me off a bit. Wow, that's pretty cool. Interesting. The shapes are a bit redundant. I think the shapes of the head. That's extremely well done. And boom, flexing some traditional skills. Thank you. Put one in your portfolio like this for some sketches, some iteration. Boom, you score so much points. This is so... Just because it's rare today. Of course, you need to draw very well, but it's rare. Circus dating sim. What the heck is that? Wow, pretty nice. Again, immediately you know the personality of that guy. Amazing. So much personality in the characters. Look at that with the duck right there. That's amazing. There's always the duck somewhere doing something silly. Again, you want to do something silly sometimes. That's what I like to see. When you're designing some stuff, you do a crude 3D base, just enough, and then you do the detail by hand. Tends to be very time efficient. Interior design, finally. That's likely to be some workshop by Elodie Mondoloni. That's her style. Beautiful. A lot of personality. The cat. Oh no, don't hurt the cat. It's adorable. Here we go. Look at that. Look at how much personality you have right there. Wow, that prosthetic is amazing. Very Art Nouveau. That's beautiful. And see, that's something I advise to a lot of students is to pick a trope that already exists and go in a drastically different direction. Tarzan and Jane. It's not what you would expect based off the Disney story. Is Jane missing a leg? Wow. Okay. Interesting. Tarzan is acting like a mount with the saddle on his back. That's insane. Wow. Here we go. Let's pick Regine. And this person doing 3D, maybe one more after, and then we're going to stop. Let's pick Mael too. Sarah Hermelin again. And then let's stop. We have seen a lot of them. Regine is the GOAT. He's working at Mood Visuals. He's so freaking mega good. And he's a kid. He was 20 last year. He's like 21, 22 now. Insane. This picture is one of the references I give to the mentees all the time. My home was the Les portfolio. Marie Gallet. Again, okay, you know to make a full character. Can you know to design? Okay, we have the face. Design, here we go. Got it. I love this because he's showing body damage. That's pretty interesting. That's some nice gameplay elements. And showing an unclothing just like in an RPG with different layers of clothes. Front and back view, thinking about production. Costume design, like drastically different costume for like skins and such. And this is what I like to see for color swap. Not just colors, but also a bit of texture that is different. That's how I like to see color swaps. This guy is insane. Huh? Damn, the amount of details like that. That's crazy. This guy is so good. Again, front and back view, variations, iteration. Always the same. Do you understand production? Do you understand design? Are you good technically? That dragon is insane. You must have spent so much time on it. Did it in VR. See, this thing is totally a bonus. Just at the end, like the end of a book of a story. It's just for the sake of user experience. Is it making sense? Awesome. Gordon, I clicked because I saw a lot of 3D. Is there a particular size you recommend work to be for presentation? In terms of pixel, no, not really. When you apply, make sure it loads fast. So no need to put 8K pictures on a website. Like 2.5K is enough. But when you work, I tell my students to work in 8K for sketches and like 5K for final picture. That's generally enough. But there's no specific rules. In terms of aspect ratio, I tend to like 16:9. If you have like a wide shot, like a cinematic keyframe or something like that, that's where the paging will extend it to 16:9 around it. The reason being, it's roughly the full size of a monitor. Right now, the stream is in 3x2 because I'm on a Mac, but most computers like Windows monitors and such, they are 16:9. So by having a 16:9 presentation, you make sure it's taking as much space as possible. But you see there's nothing set in stone right there. It's good. But for presentation, that's what I say to Alex and to the student. 16:9 or 16:10 tends to be pretty good. As long as it's standardized, I don't really mind. I would avoid super wide things like this for characters because it's going to look small. But 16:9, 16:10, kind of okay in my opinion. There's no specific rules. It's just about, is it allowing the user experience to be good or not? And the answer must be yes. I must admit, I'm a bit less of a fan of this. I understand which kind of company he's aiming at, like character, mood, one pixel brush, things like that. And I'm pretty sure he's he's getting there. Let's have a look. Where is he walking at? Oh yeah, Parallax Studio, MediaRed, Shutterstock, Mythify. Yeah, okay. Lexus. Work for a luxury car company. But yeah, Parallax Studio, that's already good. No wonder. Wow, this one is nice. Well, I'm a bit less of a fan of a full 3D workflow like that, but that's just my personal taste. And some mentees are doing it fully in 3D, like Luca Montilion, for example, if you're watching. Amazing work, buddy. But yeah, that's pretty good. He's still sharing some iterations and such, some design, just doing it in 3D. Showing breakdown of the interior plan. That's nice looking, like keyholes like that. I must admit, these kind of pictures, I'm not a fan at all of those. It's like your average keyframe. I don't know the story. The shapes are beautiful, but it's just shapes. It's very inspired by the Dreaming City of Destiny, I think. I don't like the stretching of the walls like that. It's a bit of a bummer, in my opinion. But still, it's beautiful. It's really inspired by the Dreaming City of Destiny. I would not advise as a junior to aim at sci-fi, because sci-fi is extremely, extremely hard. But right here, the shapes are beautiful. Wow. Those ones are amazing. It looks like fish. That's so elegant. I love it. You know what? I want to see more of this and less 3D from his work. Because this is beautiful. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of his 3D. I'm not saying I will do better. It's very good. But it's just over rendering and composition of the picture. It lacks the punch in the guts in terms of... would you say that's a junior portfolio? That would be a good... that would be good for junior portfolio, yeah. Junior portfolio doesn't mean much, in my opinion. I think the junior job is not disappearing, but something I say to the mentees is any job requiring up to 3 years of experience, consider that as a junior job and something you can aim at. I think today it's kind of good to just focus on doing as best as you can and not telling yourself, is it enough for junior or mid? The only thing that separates junior and mid, it's just the quality of your pictures. What separates a mid from a senior, it's experience. And also the quality of execution. But it's also experience because as a senior, you might mentor some younger people. But between junior and mid, honestly, not that much difference. You look at Jess, for example. I will not spoil her portfolio. I will let her show it. But Jess, I showed her work a bit before. The company she got in touch with told her, hey, when you apply for a senior position. She has little to no experience, but her work is stellar. So it really depends, and every company will have different criteria. It really depends on the job, it depends on the company and such. Same with Alex. This could be good junior work, but to me, Alex can skip junior level. She's so good. Same with Gael. Gael, his work is not done yet, but to me, this is not junior work. This is easily mid-level. If Gael starts at less than 320 euros per day, I would be disappointed, to be honest. It's already times 21.5. That's 7K a month. Not bad. I'm pretty sure it could start at more, 350 easily, maybe 400. Once his portfolio is done, yeah, 400, I think. What is senior level then? That's hard to define. It's really going to depend. And senior level, it's a lot of experience too. I think David, if David K is still there would be able to explain senior level a bit better than me. Because he has been dealing at very high level in companies more than me. Senior is mainly tied to experience, honestly. Have you experienced several fully fledged production from start to finish? Are you able to mentor people? Are you able to deal with high responsibility designs without crumbling and in a timely manner? Things like this. It's not that much the level. You look at artists like, let's do a comparison. Okay, let's do Vance Kovacs and let's pick Igor Sid. Two absolute beasts of concept artists, okay? Vance Kovacs worked on, he was one of the main designers on God of War. He worked on The Lion King, on a lot of movies like Jungle Book and such. Igor Sid, mega big concept artist for Diablo. He designed all the crazy costumes. Those are my go-to references for character design all the time. It's perfect, in my opinion. Symmetry is broken. There's the personality. There's a lot of storytelling and weathering everywhere. To me, this is the epitome of character concept art. At least what I like. In terms of fundamentals. It's super clean, super polished, crazy professional. The presentation is flawless. Look at that. It's insane. Look at Vance Kovacs. Sometimes it's things like this. So it's a lot of soft skills, exactly as you say, Sochun. It's a lot of soft skills, and it's not always just the level. Behind that picture, you know, if you are a senior or a junior showing that picture, it's not the same story. If you are a senior, maybe you did that in like 2 hours. If you are a junior, they're going to be like, is it the best you can do? Whereas a senior, they're like, yeah, they are fast. Don't give a shit. So, and it's funny because generally the more senior you become, the less polished your work becomes. It's kind of funny. That's often the case. And again, right there, it's a very curated selection. It's not the full design. It's just the final picture. But it's hard to dissociate. And generally, it's also how much value you provide to the production. How much time you are saving to the 3D team after. That's why a lot of seniors, they are working a lot in 3D. You look at OPB, for example, one pixel brush. You look at character, you look at mood. They tend to work more and more in 3D to save time to the studio. But they are not kit bashing, they are building their own assets. That's why they can afford to give the assets to the production team after. So I will quantify junior versus senior by how much hassle and headache and time you save to the company, rather than how good you can render a picture. Today, it's very easy to render a beautiful picture. It's very easy. You look at my work. That's something I'm going to do tomorrow with the mentees. I'm going to, next week, sorry. I'm going to compare my old portfolio that I used to apply at Ubisoft compared to today's standards. And my work, it's funny because my portfolio work, has become the opposite of what you need to do today. There was a lot of illustration, and at the time when I got hired, doing this was extremely hard. 3D was brand new, photo bashing was brand new, and it was highly sought after skills because nobody knew how to do that. There was no tutorials. We barely got Shady and Mache showing their first Last of Us pictures and their process, and show to the world how it worked. Doing this at the time was extremely, extremely hard in 2016. Making a render like this piece of shit of a render took me 8 hours to render on my machine. Today it will be instant and way better. It was the best we could do at the time with technology. Technology made rendering easier. And at the time, rendering was a big argument. Today, it's not an argument, it's a requirement. Nobody gives a shit about rendering anymore. But yeah, time has changed. And then I became lead and art director, and you know the drill. When you are an art director, you don't draw anymore and you start just regressing, or else you are just doing super early pre-production work like this. Yeah, at the time at Ubisoft, we were doing the color cheat and all of that, for sure. It's funny, I remember an anecdote about a house I did one day. It was for the Steep Olympics DLC. There was a few Asian houses that we had to do because it was happening in Korea. And if I remember correctly, there was a bit of Japan too, or Japan-influenced building that we were working on. And one day I did a house. It was one of my very, very first assignment at Ubisoft. I did the house and I did the front view, back view, side view of the house. And there was no need for the inside because it's steep, so we don't go inside the houses, but we had every sides of the building. And it took me a bit of time. It took me like a day and a half to make. And I remember I sent it to the production. And within an hour, there was the lead environment designer, not environment designer, environment 3D artist who came, was like, who did that? I was like, yeah, that's me. In my head, I was almost pissing myself thinking I'm going to get fired. And it was like, are you always doing the front view, back view, and side view? Yeah. Can you do it all the time, please? Because we never got that before. That was a funny anecdote. But again, it proves that as soon as you make the life of everyone else easier, that's how you become valuable in a company. And today, you get back to ArtStation. I'm rambling a bit right now. I'm going to end the presentation pretty soon. When you see that, none of that is showing you understand what is required in production. And that's how you stand out massively from the crowd. Without even looking at the technique yet, just with the content of your portfolio. I hope it makes sense for that presentation, folks. Let me check the question. If you have some questions, write them right now, but I'm done with the presentation. I hope it was valuable today, folks, by the way. We are not done yet. Stay, let's answer a few questions, and let's have a chat. I still have like 10 minutes more. So it's possible to start in a mid position and charge 400 USD a day without experience? Yeah, oh yeah. Especially USD in the US, yeah. 400 euros a day in Europe is going to be a soft cap. Prices in Europe are a bit lower than the US. You need to assume roughly 50% more and convert it to dollar in the US compared to Western Europe, like France, Germany, and such. So 400 euros would be $600 in the US. 400 euros is going to be one of the first soft caps you encounter in Europe. Generally, when you are high, mid, early, senior. To go above that, up to 600, I'm not accounting for VAT, by the way. So the prices I mentioned are without VAT. From 400 to 600, you need to be a well-established senior, I would say. I mean, 400 a day working full-time, it's 8.6K a month. It's 103K a year. That's already very good. 600 a day, it's 150K a year. That's pretty good. And above 600, you need to be very, very, very good, at least in Europe. A lot of companies will rarely go above 600. There are exceptions for big studios. I won't take the risk to name some. That's it. A salary around 1,000 USD per day. 1,000 USD per day. I'm talking per day. 1,000 USD being a junior, it's nothing. At least for Western country, like Western Europe or the US, it's nothing. You live in Ukraine, Eastern Europe, like Poland, Croatia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, Romania. That's going to be in line with what you get, probably. But with the cost of living being way lower, it should be okay. Are the salaries you are talking about possible while working remotely? It depends. It's going to always depend on where the company is located. Do not expect a crazy salary if you are getting asked for work by a company in like Ukraine or I don't know, like Malaysia, for example, or Indonesia. They generally don't have the money because the cost of living there is so low. The average salary is so low. In Indonesia, I don't even know what's the average salary. I think $200 a month is already a lot. But the other side of the coin is that if you live in those countries and at some point you can access Western price, you can live like a prince. Western European part, 1,000 a month, it's below the minimum wage. As a concept artist, as a salary, I'm talking salary, freelance, you need to double up the price. Minimum 2.5K, preferably 2.8K a month as a junior. In the US, I don't know much. In the US, the prices. Let me check the notes that I had. Prices. I have it somewhere. International pricing. In the US, this is an average. Just because it's an average does not entitle you to get that price. It's still negotiated case by case. In terms of salary expectation as a junior in the US, between 50 and 70K a year. That's 5 to 6K a month. USD. If you are doing decent work, I'm not talking about super commoditized work. I'm talking about junior level as we talked. 2.5K per month as a junior in terms of salary. Yeah, in Europe as a salary, yes. In freelance, it's going to be roughly 5 to 6K a month in freelance. Assuming you work full time. All right. Any other questions regarding the portfolio, things we talked about? Okay. I take that as a no. In that case, it's going to be the end of that stream. I really hope you found it valuable, folks. It was the first time, and personally, I'm very happy with how it went. I hope you enjoyed the session. We're going to do one every Friday normally. I'm going to always send an email and announce that on the Discord. And if you are not on the Discord yet, feel free to join. There's a link somewhere. You're welcome. There's a link somewhere in my Twitch description. And let me copy and paste the link. Let me copy and paste the link in the chat. I hope it's going to work for me. Here we go. Environment portfolio showcase. I talked about that during the whole stream. So yeah. And as always, if you do not have the free course yet, it's that website, theartness.academy/free course. And if you are close to junior level or above it, and you are looking for help to build your banger portfolio and get in the mentorship, or if you just want to know the structure that we use, you go watch that video. It's totally free. I'm going to send you the link, theartness.academy/portfolio guide. If you are interested in the mentorship, you can apply with that button. Just watch the video before. And the next class starts on November 2nd. The enrollment for it ends at the beginning of October normally. Price of the mentorship, for now, for November's class, it's 1,500 euros. And as always, you have the possibility to pay in up to 3 times. I'm saying for now, because in case someone watched that replay one day, the price regularly increases because I'm facing exponential demands. I have not reopened the application yet. I'm going to reopen it this weekend so you can already apply. But before the summer, I was receiving between 15 and 40 applications per week. Yeah, I know it's an investment. I'm not going to deny it. It's just that we have 5 weeks of mentorship. And then, as I said, I work with people in the mentorship for as long as they do the work until they get a job. And the mentees can attest that I spend a fuck ton of time with you. So what I'm saying is not the knowledge, it's my time. How many students per class? I'm taking 2 classes of 8. 1,500 euros, yes. So if that's something that interests you, watch that video. It's going to give you a fuck ton of value already. Let's book a call and and if you are validated for the call, let's have a discussion. I'm going to start the call starting on next week so you can apply right now. But again, I'm not here to sell you anything. Join the Discord. Feel free to join the Discord. Stick together. How many meetings are there per week? 2. 2 per class, and you can spectate the other class. I'm going to release a video pretty soon. Normally, tomorrow, I will release a video every time you book a call with me. With that, you're going to immediately receive a link that explains to you all the practicality about the mentorship. I just need to implement it. I'm done with it. I have done it this week. I just need to implement it on the website. So it's going to be there. In the meantime, if you want the information, you can click here. And you have all the information about how it works and the content. That's it. Yeah, I'm spending a fuck ton of time. That's my job now. Okay? That's my job. All right. I truly hope you enjoyed the stream. See you next week, folks. One last thing, if you don't mind and if you don't want to miss on anything, feel free to already subscribe to the YouTube channel. This way you are sure to not miss on anything. I will schedule the live and I will start posting clips from the mentorship pretty soon. So you will get a fuck ton of value from that channel. Feel free to follow me on LinkedIn if you want some spicy memes. And otherwise, feel free to join the Discord. All right. I hope you enjoyed the session, folks. It was a bit longer than expected. For the mentees, you're going to get access to the replay. Otherwise, I'm going to let the replay for maybe, let's say, 2 hours and then delete it from the internet. All right. See you soon, folks. Take care.